Do you know how a crow makes a plan and how it delivers secret messages to a wolf? Have you ever wondered if, hidden deep in nature, there are alliances not based on love or instinct, but on intelligence, power, and shared interest? Alliances that don't resemble anything human, yet sometimes go even deeper. Picture this: the sky is dark, the wind moves through the trees, and in the distance, a crow calls. But this isn't just a bird. This is the beginning of a strategy. And down below, in the shadows, a pair of glowing eyes waits, watching, listening, waiting for a signal. Welcome to Secrets of the Unseen World, where the hidden begins to reveal itself. In this video, we'll explore one of the most surprising and mysterious partnerships in the wild, the alliance between crows and wolves. If you haven't seen our video about the strange intelligence of crows, we recommend watching it after this one. The link is in the description. Wolves, more than they seem. When we think of wolves, we usually imagine sharp teeth, fast chases, and a pack hunting together. But there's more going on behind those eyes than most people realize. Wolves don't just respond to their surroundings, they react to each other's emotions. Every pack has a clear structure. Leaders are chosen because they're capable, not because they're aggressive. Wolves recognize one another. There's a sense of loyalty and connection inside the group. That bond shows itself when things get difficult. If one member is injured or sick, the others don't leave them behind. They slow down. Sometimes they stop hunting. They even change direction just to make sure the injured wolf stays with the group. For them, keeping the group together matters more than catching food that night. Each member is part of something bigger. No one is seen as useless. In one documented case, a wolf pack suddenly stopped chasing prey. Why? One of the pups had fallen down a small ledge. The prey escaped, but the pup was safe. This kind of behavior doesn't fit the usual image of a predator, but when you look closer, you start to see something deeper than instinct. Maybe that's why, when a crow calls from above, wolves don't just listen for food. They listen for a sign. Crows, more than just birds. Crows are everywhere, in cities, in forests, sitting quietly on power lines. They may seem ordinary, but their behavior tells another story. One of the most unusual things about them happens when one of their own dies. Other crows gather nearby. They don't touch the body. They don't try to protect it. They just stay close, silent, sometimes for hours. It looks like they're trying to figure something out. Maybe they're watching. Maybe they're remembering. Some scientists believe this is a way of analyzing danger, a kind of learning through death. Very few animals do this. But not everything about crows is serious. They also play. They slide on snow, toss things into the air, and sometimes approach other animals, like wolves, just to tease them. They've been seen pulling on tails, circling playfully, then flying away fast. Why do they do it? No one really knows. It could be fun. It could be a test. Crows are also skilled mimics. They copy the sounds of other birds and even people. They've been heard imitating human voices, baby cries, and in one case, the exact sound of a door lock clicking open. That kind of mimicry takes more than memory. It takes awareness. Inside a crow's mind, there's a map. A mental layout of paths, resources, dangers, and maybe even a plan for the wolves. Silent cooperation. In the snowy plains and quiet forests, crows keep their eyes on the sky, but their attention is just as much on the ground. When they discover a potential meal, like the body of a deer or a dying animal, they can't open it themselves. Their beaks simply aren't made for that. But they don't give up. They find a way to spread the word. Sometimes it's a distinct call. Sometimes a short, deliberate flight. Sometimes they follow the same path over and over until it's noticed. Wolves respond. But they're not just following sounds. They pay attention to the direction, the pattern, the repetition in flight. There have been many observations where wolves followed the same route the crows took, even before the scent of the carcass reached the air. In one recorded case, a crow kept flying over the same spot again and again. Minutes later, a wolf pack appeared, and not far from there, a carcass was found. At first glance, it might seem like coincidence, but not when the same thing happens over and over. Something has formed between these two species. It didn't start from a rule, and it wasn't driven by instinct. It came from something else entirely. Repetition, memory, and results. Wolves have learned to track crow behavior closely. Crows have learned exactly when the wolves will arrive. Each side has picked up something important, and that's all it takes for this cooperation to keep going. You might think this alliance only happens when food is involved. A simple deal. The crow finds the target. The wolf opens it. Both benefit. But that's not the whole story. In a few rare observations, wolves have been seen guarding crow nests from threats, whether hunters or other animals. At first, it might look like coincidence. But when the same behavior shows up in different places and times, it becomes harder to dismiss. Crows, too, sometimes behave in ways that feel more personal. In one case, a crow kept interacting with a specific wolf in the pack. Not with others, not with pups, just with him. It flew down, got close, made a unique sound, then flew off to a branch a little farther, almost as if it was inviting him to follow. That didn't look like random play. It felt more like recognition, as if something had formed between them. Not just cooperation, but a kind of understanding. The cooperation between crows and wolves doesn't just help them survive, it shapes the environment around them. Wolves rarely finish an entire carcass. What's left becomes food for others: crows, weasels, jackals, even the soil. But when crows help locate those carcasses, wolves hunt more successfully. And that means more resources for everyone, more balance in the food chain, more stability across the ecosystem. It also reduces the number of rotting carcasses, which helps slow the spread of disease. And maybe most importantly, when predators are active, prey populations don't grow out of control, because if they do, they can strip vegetation and break the entire cycle that supports life. So, whether they know it or not, crows and wolves are keeping nature in check. Deep in the forest, silence has a pattern. It's not empty. Sounds exist, but each one arrives like it knows exactly when to appear. The crow's call isn't just noise anymore. It's been heard too many times. Now it means something. Wolves know when to listen. Crows know when to speak. Between them, there's no written rule. Still, something holds. Maybe they've never faced each other. Maybe they don't even realize there's a connection. But the pattern continues. So if one day you hear a crow calling above, don't just look up. Look down. Look into the trees. Someone or something might already be moving toward the sound. And this was only one secret. Others are still out there, hiding in the shadows, beneath the noise, inside patterns no one's noticed yet. If you're ready, we'll keep going.